Day 25 of the 40-day soul fast by Dr. Cindy Trims. Today's chapter focuses on the power of becoming. Guys, when I tell you this chapter is filled with so much gems. The first statement I would like to share is where she states here, it is said that if you catch a small shark and confine it, it will stay a size proportionate to the aquarium where it lives. But if you turn it loose in the vastness of the ocean, the same shark will grow to 8 feet long, jump out of the aquarium of limited beliefs and start swimming in the ocean of unlimited potentials or possibilities. I'm not necessarily going to dive into becoming now. Let me just read a couple of the gems. Like when I was reading the subtext about purpose, I was screaming. Like I was literally screaming this morning because Dr. Cindy Trims was just sharing so much things. I was like, God, I don't know what wisdom you have put on this woman, but hey, there's someone here who is interested in that thing because boy, I just felt like it just made something in me this morning come alive. I honestly had to look at myself this morning and ask myself some real questions, and I'm going to be asking as well in this video. So let's talk about purpose. The first thing she shares here about purpose is an understanding of purpose is essential for authentic living. Not only understanding your divine purpose overall, but also living purposefully or being purpose-minded. In other words, there is living true to your calling and assignment in a general sense, but there is also being purposeful in regards to everything that you do. Purpose is a mindset as much as it is a discipline. If at any point you find me catching myself shouting in this video, let me just tell you something. It's worth it because let me tell you, that's just my body responding to the power of the words in this book. The second statement she shares here is where she says, God created you on purpose for a purpose. Purpose is the reason for you being on this earth. There's a prayer point I always pray and say, God, thank you so much for causing me to be alive today, for causing me to wake up today. The reason why you've caused me to wake up and given me a new day is because I still have purpose here on earth. People look far and wide to discover purpose, but the answers are right in your backyard. People are always looking outside of themselves for purpose, but the answer is right in your backyard. I'm being reminded of Moses right now, and this is where the Lord had to cause Moses to use his own staff to perform signs and wonders before Pharaoh. And this is a story in the Bible. God did not use anything outside of Moses. He literally asked Moses to use his own staff. And I feel like that's what she's sharing in this chapter, is that you don't have to look for purpose everywhere else because it's already inside of you. So it's for you to go in and search for that thing because it's there. You have purpose in you. So there's a profound story that she shares here that honestly, I was just screaming. Like I was just screaming all through because I was just like, oh my goodness, like what? So this woodcutter took his grandson into the forest for the first time to learn how to select and cut oak trees to send it or sell it out to boat builders. So this woodcutter was teaching his grandson about the oak tree, the different parts of the oak trees and what they were used for. And he was teaching him to pay attention to the details of the tree as to how, they could be used in different parts. Right? They came across another oak tree that was very old, had never been cut before. And he asked his grandfather, why is this oak tree not been cut? Why don't we use this oak tree, right, to make ourselves some firewood? The grandfather responded to the grandson and said, let them go about doing their current business and they can return back to the oak tree. So later on, the grandson got really tired and, was looking for somewhere to rest and said to his grandfather, can we find a shade in which we can rest? And his grandfather was like, yes, sure. And then he takes him to that same oak tree that he wanted to cut down. There's a statement Dr. Cindy Trims shares here after she shared the story. She says, some things are readily apparent, like the tall, straight trees. Other things are less apparent, requiring closer attention, like recognition of the proper curves in the limbs of the oak tree, and some things might initially appear to have no purpose at all, like the old oak tree. But the woodcutter stated, you must learn to pay careful attention every day so you can recognize and discover the purpose God has for everything in creation. For it is this old oak tree which you so quickly deemed useless, except for firewood, that now allows you to rest in the cool of the shade. Remember, grandson, not everything is as it first appears. Be patient, pay attention, recognize and discover. My God, my goodness, when I read this, I was literally screaming. I was shouting because I just felt like there was so much wisdom in the statement. There was so much wisdom in the statement. She says here, don't let people cut you down or belittle you. Don't allow anyone to determine your purpose. They might mistake you for a firewood instead of a shelter. And then she shares a quote here, which we all know. I think I like to believe that it's a very famous quote by Dr. Myles Munroe saying, where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. Silence for this gem. And I think this is where becoming ties in with purpose. Because especially when you're in that phase of becoming, so you might not look like that tall tree, you might not look as great, as put together as, people who have gone ahead of you. That's the beauty of becoming. The beauty of becoming is that you are shedding, learning, relearning, doing things in a new way, putting the old ways of things behind you, improving constantly, enhancing yourself. That is the beauty of becoming. That when you become, you can look back and see the process that which you went through. I personally believe that becoming is a lifelong process. Sometimes in your process of becoming, people might not even recognize you and who you're meant to be. That's okay. Because the right people who recognize it will come along with you, will value you, and will love you at the state which you are. And it's okay to become. Sometimes you hear people try to make fun of or mock people saying, oh, you're a wannabe. Yes, I'm a wannabe. Yes, I'm a wannabe speaker. It's okay to be a wannabe. It's okay to become. That's how you become, by wanting to be. That's how you become, by wanting to be. Okay? So the question I would like to leave with you today is, what can you be doing more of to do your part in bringing God's purpose for your life to come to pass? What should you be doing less of? I'd like to leave this question with you today. And thank you so much for tuning into day 25, and I will see you in day 26.